Hello, BookTube, and welcome back to your Daily Penguin. This is our tour through my Penguin Classic wall, book by book and author by author, and sometimes we're hitting obscure works and obscure authors. Sometimes I'm holding up books you've never heard of before. Sometimes I'm holding up books that I'd never heard of before they were inducted into the Penguin Classic line and made their way to me. But other times I hold up books that are part of our cultural heritage. They are part of our patrimony. They exist, it could almost be said, separate from the literary tradition. Every once in a while I will hold up a book like that, and that is certainly the case today. Today is The Three Musketeers. This is the Penguin Classic Deluxe Edition with the deckled edges and the French flaps and illustrations on the front. It's just dialogue. The back, it's just dialogue. Side, it's just dialogue. The fraps, it's just dialogue. And it's stick figures, literal silhouettes and stick figures. So this artwork is by Tom Gald, G-A-L-D, and I could have done it. So I'm not 100% sure of the choice here, but nevertheless, the translation is by Richard Peviar, who a lot of you will know as a translator as part of a duo, because he and Larissa Volokonsky have cornered the market on high-profile literary event translations from the Russian. Richard Peviar does this translation all by his lonesome for Penguin. And this is, of course, the story of D'Artagnan and his musketeer compatriots and Cardinal Richelieu and Milady de Winter. And it like I say, it has, thanks to innumerable adaptations on stage and TV and movies, it has taken its place in the cultural zeitgeist in a way that is given to very few books to do. We've seen it with some Penguin classics where they are known by their title and their basic plot outline far more than they're known as works of literature. Far more people have heard of or seen The Three Musketeers than have ever read it. So those people are missing out on how much fun this book is. It's a tremendously fun novel. It's not high-grade French literature like the kind we have seen periodically in our March of the Penguins, but I have, much like the other books that are in that cultural patrimony, whether it's Tarzan and the Apes or 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, I never go back to this book without being glad I did. I never read it without really enjoying it. Same thing with Treasure Island or Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, those sorts of things. It's no small skill to create a book that can satisfy so perennially as this one does. And the Peviar translation I like, which might be why I have 2 copies of it. Speaking of innumerable adaptations for the stage and screen, I also have the Penguin non-deluxe movie cover adaptation of, I think, the latest big screen movie adaptation with Orlando Bloom, as you can see, and a whole bunch of musketeers, and also in skin-tight leather and all of 5 feet tall, Logan Lerman. In his parent studio's endless attempts, since he was 13 years old, endless attempts to make this guy a star. Endlessly. He was in Percy Jackson. He's been in a million different things. He's in just recently wrapped up a miniseries for cable about Nazi hunters. Was in Perks of Being a Wallflower. A lot of you will know him from that cult movie. I'm about to start sneezing. Almost all of my Sunday was devoted to sneezing. Almost all of my Sunday night and into Monday morning was devoted to sneezing just once every 10 or 11 seconds, like a metronome. Without any relief, without any ability to draw a breath, without any ability to do anything, read anything, concentrate on anything, write anything, think about anything. So I don't know if this is the beginning of that. This I have largely this summer and fall just given my life over to sneezing. I do almost nothing else. So we shall see. I will press on until it paralyzes me. Where was I? I was mid-rant about Logan Lerman. 6-pack a day tobacco addict Logan Lerman, 5 feet tall, possessed of a small modicum of acting ability. No, nothing even remotely approaching star quality. He is a 2x4. He's a plank of wood. he has been smoking 6-packs a day since he was 8 years old. He is not capable anymore of facial expressions, vocal registers, anything of the kind. He's largely a waxwork figure. And yet, for some reason, I don't know who he knows, but for some reason, he constantly gets roles like this. D'Artagnan in a Three Musketeers movie, the lead in what was hoped to be a multi-movie franchise of Percy Jackson, and so on and so forth. He is never without high-profile work, even though he is at best a low B-grade talent. I don't get it. I will never get it. I am going to be living, we are all going to be living with Logan Lerman headlining multi-million-dollar star-making vehicles without having the ingredients of being a star. He is not an exciting performer. Just plain and simple. No offense to him. He just isn't. And ordinarily, big screen movie studios would learn that very quickly. They ordinarily have people who know that long before the casting is finished, so that they don't put somebody like him in the role of D'Artagnan, one way or another. I also have this. It's the Peviar translation as well. I don't know why I have it, but I do have both of these, and it's a perfect example. I don't need both of these. And I also have somewhere, I have a mass market paperback of Penguin's previous non-Peviar translation. And if I have the Peviar in a Penguin Classic Deluxe edition, no matter what I might think of the artwork, I don't need multiple copies of it, except for one, which I looked for before this Penguin video. I was not able to find it. I know that it's here somewhere, but I couldn't find it, so I called up an image, because I have a Penguin adjacent recommendation this time around that I absolutely don't want to fail to make. Because this is the best translation of the Three Musketeers that's ever been done. If you want just one, if you've never sat down and really given the Three Musketeers a good, enjoyable read-through and you want just one, this is the one you have to have. It's by Lawrence Ellsworth. The translation is by Lawrence Ellsworth. That's what it looks like. Big, fat volume, gorgeously made by Pegasus, I think, and part of an ongoing project by Lawrence Ellsworth to translate all of Dumas for them. And certainly all of the Three Musketeers novels, but lots of other things too. All in these beautiful hardcovers with the black dust jackets and the period artwork. I have all of these things somewhere. I just couldn't find it in time for this video. And boy, oh boy, doesn't that underscore the defects of a print book library, right? Since if sooner or later, someday, a handful of you, half a dozen of you, are being very generous with sending me your ebooks. And somewhere down the line, one of those people, or somebody new, is bound to send me the whole of Lawrence Ellsworth, his work on Dumas, in ebook form. Or the publisher is. One way or another. If that were true, I don't mean to turn this into a harp about ebooks versus print books, but if I had the Lawrence Ellsworth Three Musketeers in an ebook, then it would be the work of a fraction of a second to find it. I often used to say, I've said it on this video, and for decades before BookTube, I've said, I wish that my books could answer when I call out. When I say, oh, you, where are you? I'm looking for you and I can't find you. I wish that they could answer and say, here I am, I'm over here. And ebooks can pretty much do that. So I won't have to worry about it. One way or another, I wanted to recommend Lawrence Ellsworth if I was talking about the Penguin Three Musketeers. The Penguin volume is lovely, but in this rare instance, if you want one and only one English language translation of the Three Musketeers, it has to be Lawrence Ellsworth. And once you do that, you might want to consider investing in all of his other, I think it's Pegasus, all of his other Dumas translations. They're revelatory. And that's it. That is your Daily Penguin for today. Is a classic, a book that, as the old saying goes, literally needs no introduction. The Three Musketeers. If you haven't read it, for some odd reason, if you've maybe only seen it, oh my, read it. Read it even in an older translation. There is no translation that can defeat it in terms of just how infectiously enjoyable it is, how much fun Dumas and whatever collaborators he used had in generating this story. You're just going to love it. Peviar ends his introduction to this volume by recounting a perhaps apocryphal story about how Dumas late in life was interrupted by somebody while he was reading in bed, and he told them, I'm reading the Three Musketeers, and the person said, oh, how is it? After all this time, you've gone back to it. How is it? He said, it's good. I wholeheartedly second that verdict. So that's your Penguin Classic for today. I doubt very much that we will find a name recognition equal to the Three Musketeers tomorrow, provided I am allowed to make videos. I could just spend the day sneezing. But if I have an interval in between sneezing, we will see. I'm not planning ahead of time, so who knows what we'll encounter. But Dumas is a great way to start the week. So I'm going to wrap this up for now, but I'll be back. Thank you, BookTube.